Hey y'all, it's me, Buzzchella, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering and recapping the multi-week feud between Eureka O'Hara from RuPaul's Drag Race Seasons 9 and 10 and RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 6, plus We're Here from HBO, and Kim Chi from Drag Race Season 8 and CEO of Kim Chi Cosmetics. But a quick disclaimer before we jump into it, I just want to say bullying online, or IRL, is never okay or condoned by my channel. So with that said, let's jump right in. The Eureka vs. Kim Chi feud of 2024 began on May 13th on the Very Delta podcast number 91 featuring Eureka O'Hara. And in that podcast, we hear Eureka discussing a fight that transpired between herself and Kim Chi on one of the Work the World tours. According to Eureka, she was asking Kim Chi to borrow an outfit for a performance that night due to having lost some luggage, a request which Eureka says Kim Chi denied because she said that she didn't have anything in Eureka's size.
I remember being on the Work the World tour and I lost my bags. Luckily, I had my makeup and like 2 or 3 weeks, although I got into the biggest fight with Kim Chi. I was so pissed at her because I went to her and I was like, do you have anything I could borrow? Like a stretch dress, anything. And this was when she was going through her era of like, I'm not a big girl. And so she was just like, Eureka, I don't have anything in your size. And I was just like, okay, that's delusional.
And in this podcast, Eureka goes on to allege there was a fight occurring later that night involving Bob the drag queen and herself. And Eureka finally wraps this story up, saying everyone is now seemingly on good terms, saying this.
I ended up getting into a big fight with Bob the drag queen that night because Kim Chi was upset that I was mad. So then Bob comes in there like trying to tell me like how wrong I am. And I was not in the mood, bitch.
Wow.
So I'm just like, you two, get out of my dressing room. I hate you all. Rah, 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 rah. I love them now. You know, me and Kim Chi took a minute before we were like,
Sure.
okay again.
And the comments Eureka made regarding this interaction with Kim Chi went viral after the podcast aired, which led to a lot of people on platforms like X sending hate towards Kim Chi. Now in a seemingly deleted tweet that I can't personally verify the authenticity of, but is floating around on places like Reddit, Kim Chi, apparently having seen the episode, posted to her X profile, "Hey, at Very Delta Pod, can I come on as a guest next week?" And then the next day, May 14th, Kim Chi shared this to her X profile. "The amount of body shaming I've received in the last 24 hours over someone's falsely embellished story is actually wild. I didn't want to air out my personal struggles, but I actually suffered from depression and leg injury and have gained a lot of weight. I'm doing much better now, getting back in healthier habits and routine. I hope you folks aren't this cruel to fat people in your real daily lives." And several queens from the franchise chimed in to send Kim Chi some love. Bianca Del Rio sent a heart emoji. Kandy Muse replied, writing, "You literally don't have to explain yourself, F them." Darren Lake responded, "From personal experiences, yes, they are that horrible. Sometimes those words even come from friends. It's tough to be mentally strong, but it helps when you have people who have compassion and understanding. I'm always a Kim Chi fan, unless you do some stupid shit." And Denali responded, "F them." And then about a week later on May 20th, Kim Chi got to tell her side of the story in this drama on her self-produced podcast, One for the Table. This podcast episode, titled Drama for the Table, starts off with Kim Chi saying that she wants to tell her side of the story and clarifies that she doesn't want anyone listening to this to send hate to the person she's talking about.
They told that story and everyone just like blindly like believed everything they said, which is like crazy to me. So I just want to like explain my side. After I talk about it, I'll never talk about it again. Don't send this person any hate. That's not my intention.
And while she never actually directly names the person who she's talking about in this podcast, we can glean she might allegedly be talking about Eureka.
This queen went on a podcast and told what was supposed to be like a funny, like quirky, like little story like that happened on tour. She lost her luggage while we were traveling, and then she asked me if she could borrow a costume from me, and apparently I was in denial of my weight at the time, and I told her I didn't have anything that would fit her, and I was being like hateful and delusional. And then afterwards, her, Bob, and I got in a fight about it, but then we made up and we're good now, was a story I told. First of all, this person claims like that we're cool and we're sisters now. We've never been friends.
And according to Kim's version of the events as told on this podcast, she says the disagreement with the person who asked to borrow the costume and Bob the drag queen occurred not only on different nights, but on completely separate tours.
The chain of events that she claims happened are actually different events that she somehow all put together in her head. The fight between her, Bob, and I was actually a complete different tour leg that happened in Miami, and her losing her costumes happened in Australia. Or actually, sorry, New Zealand.
Kim also goes on to clarify there were multiple reasons she didn't lend this person a costume, one of them being that they were simply different sizes at the time.
And everything I have is custom made to me, and they're custom made to my body size at the time. I don't really work with stretch fabric. None of my costumes like would have fit her because I was skinnier at the time. And it's not even just like a matter of like putting the clothes on, but it's a matter of being able to like function and performing it.
She then goes on to clarify the other reasons she didn't lend this person a costume were related to personal hygiene issues.
This is gonna sound really mean and I apologize, but this person does not have the best hygiene. Like there are days where like I'll try to like convince this person to shower. The person's like, oh fine, like I'm fine, girl. And I'm like, but no, like we are all like traveling, living together, and we have to like smell you constantly. Like for example, they had like a jumpsuit that would get drenched in sweat like after their performance. And what should happen? You hang sweaty things out so it can like air out and dry. This person would wrap the sweaty jumpsuit up and put it in a plastic bag and carry from city to city. Every time this entire person's luggage would just smell like strong mildew. And on top of that, this person had like an open pus in their stomach. Instead of getting treated, they were covering up with duct tape. And on top of that, just in Brisbane, this person was talking about how they shit the bed and they just like left it on the bed.
And she finally summarizes her intentions behind denying this request, saying this.
Even if I could loan to them, I don't know if I would have ever lent it to them because like their poor hygiene. If that makes me a bad person, like so be it. But like I did not fat shame this person. And there were other people like that were like in the room.
Yeah.
That were like, it did like that's not like how it went down. Like,
Okay.
we did not like fat shame this person into like not giving this person an outfit.
Kim then goes on to discuss the alleged altercation that happened between this person and Bob the drag queen, saying this.
One of the stagehand asked this person to clean her personal stuff off the bus. She sends like a group text like to everyone saying like, you will not talk to me that way. And then she comes storming in and starts like yelling at him, was like how like, you'll not disrespect me, you'll not talk to me that way. And he's like, I did not disrespect you. And then he apologized. And he's like, I accept your apology, but like I don't think you're sincere. And if you ever talk to me that way again, I'm going to pop you in the face. So then I told her, you cannot threaten people with physical violence. And then even Bob like chimed in. It's like, first of all, that person did not have to apologize. They were simply doing their job. And then, you know, like she starts crying and she tells me like, you're not my friend. I don't care what you have to say. And then Bob like tries to calm her down, but she's like, I'm upset. Like I'm gonna go like ship my stuff out. And she just like leaves the room like crying.
And ultimately says she simply did not appreciate this person airing out personal drama on a podcast, especially considering they simply aren't that close, as the person who she is supposedly talking about, Eureka, seems to suggest on that same podcast.
I love them now. You know, me and Kim Chi took a minute before we were like, okay again.
I don't have like a relationship with her like that for her to be talking about me like that on a podcast and tell like a really distorted version of a story where it did not happen.
And as Kim Chi's version of the story makes its way around the internet, there is unfortunately a lot of online bullying that follows. And while most of the online bullying that happened on platforms like X were from random fans of the show, we did see some Drag Race queens like Morphine get involved, who reposted on her X page a video showing a person walking down a street with a cloud of smoke behind him, where the person who posted that video wrote Eureka O'Hara in Work the World 2018, which was reshared by her on May 30th. There was also a TikTok shared by Heidi in Closet going viral where she was making a ranking style list of queens who smell good, and Eureka's picture popped up. This is what happened in the video.
I've never been close enough to know what she smells. Oh, brother, apparently not.
Later that day, though, we do see queens like Kandy Muse jump in to hopefully put a stop to some of this online bullying occurring. And she wrote around 6 o'clock that day, making jokes on the internet about someone's hygiene is a different type of evil. Bitch, I said what I said. If you don't like it, hop off my Twitter and eat. And one X user responded to Kandy's tweet writing, calling someone stinky is not evil. To which Kandy responds, did you read the tweet or not? Making fun, if the bitch stinks, call her out and keep it stepping. Making an entire joke on the internet, ... And another X user responded to Kandy's post writing, do you mean Kim herself explaining why she didn't lend the clothes, or other people who are making fun of Eureka? Because I agree with you, but also I don't know if Kim was making fun for and giggles, more so than just kind of defending herself and justifying what Eureka brought up. To which Kandy Muse responds, Kim and Eureka can come for each other till the sun goes down. I can care less about this stupid little beef. Seeing a bunch of Rue girls, the same bitches that cry when fans attack them during the season, jump in on the joke with the rest of the internet is corny AF. And them hoes always want to talk about mental health, please. And to this response, Alexis Mateo chimes in, bam. Bam. And apparently addressing some of the people sending vitriol her way, she later that day wrote, "Make sure when you're coming for me, there is no rip in your bio, because you're dead grandma catching strays right along with you." And Kandy's plea to stop the online bullying did apparently reach Eureka's eyes, because she responded to Kandy's tweets writing, "T, I'm used to being bullied. Love you, girl. Thank you for being real." And later that night, seemingly in an attempt to brush off the haters and gain some more power back in the situation, Eureka posted to her ex profile writing, "I'm gonna go take a shower, BRB. I'm done. That wasn't so bad." And then the next day, very early in the morning, she posted this. "Imagine being on tour 6 years ago, sick, dealing with a mother having cancer, so very depressed, and all the time you're being laughed at behind your back for smelling and being alienated for it, but not told till 6 years later. Girl, that's a lot." And later that day, she acknowledged one of the fans making jokes about what Kim Chi discussed in her version of the events, where she told the story about the hotel bed, where an ex-user wrote, "That one hotel bed, I feel like Eureka." And Eureka reposted this writing, "I'm screaming." And later that same morning, she wrote, "Gonna go shower and have a good day. Choose to stay positive and know I appreciate anyone being kind and supportive to me. Also have your opinions, that's what the internet is for. I've learned and grown so much in my life. Anyone struggling, know you're not alone and loved." And then the next day on June 1st, Eureka posted this to her ex profile. "My response to all of this online is, I texted Kim personally about being sorry she felt bullied by the fans over what I said. The story I told was referencing the situation when my clothes were lost. I didn't lie. The truth, I was very combative then and in a bad place. As far as stinky drag, I was still learning how to travel and drag gets very stinky. Didn't realize it was this level. I do shower and take care of myself even more today. I'm with my family and trying to give them my full attention, and I had to step away from Twitter because I had to reflect and decide how to respond. I take responsibility for starting this. When I brought up the story in Delta's podcast, I was just running at the mouth and not thinking it would start any drama or hurt Kim by the fans attacking her. Love y'all so much." And while this apology from Eureka does seem to mark the end of this feud with Kim Chi, there is some adjacent drama or clips floating around the internet revolving around Kim Chi. One of them is from the most recent Pit Stop episode covering All Stars 9, episode 4 with Trixie Mattel and Kim Chi. And in this clip that went viral on X, Trixie is talking about what a nice and generous person Kim Chi is, but says that she would never want to get her mad at her.
You would give a friend the shirt off your back, but I wouldn't mess with you. Like, I wouldn't get Kim mad at you.
Don't try it, little one.
And I want to be clear, the exchange they're having doesn't seem to actually be related to this drama, and probably couldn't possibly be, because it would have been filmed more than a couple of weeks or even months ago. Finally, I want to reiterate, bullying online or IRL is never okay. And I always recommend the consumption of these public dramas and feuds to be consumed passively, which means don't go in comment sections and places like X and tag these queens saying mean or rude things. Anyway, that's the tea and drama. Let me know what y'all thought about everything down in the comments below. And finally, I want to give an extra special thank you to Ashley Brungard, Felicia, Laura, Matthew Burns, Mikael Meets, Topher, and Will and Tana, who are all supporting me at the Bussy Queen Collective here at patreon.com/BussyQueen. See y'all later. Love ya. Bye.